Well, what do you think is the biggest obstacle when it comes to mainstream adoption of the Bitcoin or blockchain technology?
Mainstream adoption is a little bit difficult at the moment because technically Bitcoin is a system that is kind of a little bit complicated to use in the beginning. Yes, so you have to download special software and you have to use these weird addresses, right? You know these very long ones, and the volatility in the market is very high. So it needs a little bit more polishing and needs to be a little bit more user friendly.
Okay, so when it comes to bigger blocks, what do you think is the importance of this in terms of scalability issues in the debate?
That's a very important point actually, because all these decentralized cryptocurrencies, and decentralization is very important, they all have the same problem, namely the scalability to more users and to more transactions, very limited. We need to go to a level of like a factor 1,000 or factor 10,000 more transactions. So this is kind of the basic problem all of these cryptocurrencies have. Now there are certain things you can do to improve the situation. There is something you can do on the Bitcoin level, or the on-chain, how we call that, and that is kind of increasing the block size. And this is going forward certainly something which is needed. On the other hand, there are people that are saying, okay, if we increase the block size now, it could have certain problems with respect to the decentralization. And their argument is, if you increase the block size, you will need bigger machines to process all these blocks. Yeah? So a lot of these nodes will drop out, and if the nodes drop out, that's bad for decentralization. And there are other solutions like the Lightning Network. So this is kind of a second level solution, which is kind of based on top of Bitcoin. And this will allow us to scale much higher. Yeah. And the other thing is there's maybe other technologies besides Bitcoin, like so-called directed acyclic graphs, which have a much better property with respect to scaling. But scaling is a major issue right now with Bitcoin, yeah.
And among all of the forks that had happened, we have BTC or SegWit, we have Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold. Among all of those, what is the true Bitcoin?
Actually, at the end of the day, it's kind of where most people kind of agree to. If there's like 90% of the community standing behind one coin, that is kind of the Bitcoin for me, right? And this can reflect in two things. Can be reflected in terms of pricing, so in terms of market value. At the end of the day, it's kind of the users and the kind of the financial situation that determines what Bitcoin is. On a technical level, you could also argue it's kind of about the most difficulty. So kind of increasing the difficulty, how many miners are mining on that chain or on the other chain. But at the end of the day, this is driven by the economic background. So if kind of one coin is more valuable than the other, why should I mine the less valuable coin? I will rather mine the more valuable one.
All right, so what do you think about ICOs or initial coin offerings?
There's, for Ethereum mainly, there's like hundreds and maybe even thousands by now of ICOs, so initial coin offerings. Ethereum took it to a next level by kind of giving other developers and other people the opportunity to create coins that are based on Ethereum on their own. Yeah, they can create that very easily. And there are some projects which have a lot of value. Like if you think about Augur, for example, it's a decentralized prediction market, and I can clearly see where the value stems from. It's a great idea, yeah, where you can kind of get rid of the middleman. But there are many other ICOs where it would say, okay, better be careful, read really what this is about, because in the beginning they had a very good technical foundation, this project, but it kind of over time, people just see this as a mechanism to make quick money, yeah, and that's not the idea.
Thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you very much.